I am super excited for our next guest because she helped to create the most brilliant bracket ever. If you listen to the show, you already know that my bracket was busted in the first 2 hours. But now I have hope. With the ultimate Disney bracket on the line now is Rubie Edmondson from USA Today Sports and For the Win, who actually helped put this bracket together. Hey, Rubie.
Hey, Amanda. How's it going?
I am fantastic. I'm super excited to talk about this, if you couldn't tell by my little intro.
Yeah. Were you trying to sway our listeners with your intro music there to line thing? Or?
I was maybe just a little bit. Rubie, is this the first time that you guys have put together this amazing Disney bracket?
So it's the first time we've done Disney. We've actually had a month of bracket madness here at For the Win. So we've also done craft breweries and superheroes versus villains in the last 2 weeks. But definitely the first time we've done anything Disney related.
I'm on
it
the
was
line.
It was a hot topic amongst our staff.
Absolutely. I can imagine. This is Rubie Edmondson of USA Today Sports and For the Win. She's one of the designers of the Ultimate Disney Bracket. Now, we're going to go through the bracket for our listeners. For those of you who have not seen it yet, this is what you can expect. So it's broken up. We have the Princess region, the Pixar region, the Classics region, and the Modern Classics region. So I want to know how obviously you grouped all of these based on, Princess region, Pixar. I get all of those. But how did you pair the matchups together? We have Little Mermaid versus Snow White, Frozen, Pocahontas, Monsters, Inc. Up. How did you come up with all of these?
So we honestly kind of just went through, first of all, we just submitted our ideas of, what movies should be here in the first place. And it was really difficult because there are some really great ones that got left off. And then once we grouped them, we kind of went through as best we could, but obviously not an exact science. So it's 1 through 8, the most popular movies, or, maybe just the most well-regarded movies in each category. And then once we had the 1 through 8, we paired them up just by standard seeding. So the 1 seed plays the 8 seed, the 4 plays the 5, and 2 plays the 7, etc. So not too much of an exact science per se, and there's definitely some very interesting matchups happening. There's currently an 8-1 upset going on in our polls. So, yeah, not the exactest thing in the world.
8-1, yeah. I saw, so Little Mermaid is 1, Snow White is 8. To me, that's no competition. I had to pick Little Mermaid in that. We can get into others too, but Fantasia and Bambi, they're 1 and 8 as well. And to me, that's not a contest. But
right.
Obviously, this whole bracket is just all opinion-based.
Yeah, it's kind of like the collective opinions of our staff. So it's not even, per se, one person's opinion over another. A lot of our our readers apparently have never heard of Fantasia. We've gotten a lot of that feedback on Twitter, so it's kind of a runaway right now for Bambi. Snow White at number 8 is just, I can't get over that. That should have, that's a top 4 overall seed to me. So, unfortunately, it's getting a thrash for the Little Mermaid right now, but it's just how it goes. That first round can be a little rough.
I'm on the line with Rubie Edmondson of USA Today Sports and For the Win, the designer of the Ultimate Disney Bracket. I was going to ask you, Rubie, have you experienced any backlash on social media about your matchups? People are just so upset that you put this movie at this spot.
Yeah, just a little bit. Yeah, that's basically the only feedback we've gotten so far.
Really? It's all been negative?
Well, not so much negative, just more spirited debate about, the merits of Up, which is a 5 seed. A lot of people feel like that's kind of their favorite movie on this bracket. It's a 5 seed in the Pixar region. I mean, no, there's definitely been positive feedback. It's definitely a fun, lighthearted kind of thing. But especially amongst our staff, our staff really got into this. And, on Twitter all day, have been getting into it over, the seedings and such. And even some of the omissions. I can't believe Emperor's New Groove was left off our bracket.
Yep, I was going to ask about that. There's Tarzan that didn't make the bracket. People are upset on Twitter that Tarzan is not on there.
Yep. What can I say? I don't know. We had 8 slots, and Aristocats got left out. That's also kind of a favorite of mine, but you just gotta go with it.
Yep, can't fit them all. Let's get a little nerdy for a minute. You're a graphic designer, right?
Yes.
Okay, so take us inside the creating process for this bracket.
So each week with our brackets, I've kind of tried to theme it towards the category at hand. So we had the craft brewery one that kind of looked like a beer label. We had superheroes versus villains, which I kind of designed to look like a comic book. And then this Disney movie bracket, it's just kind of like, I kind of designed it around Up, and I hope that's not really swaying anyone, but, just something kind of like lighthearted and fun. It's gotten a lot of talk, I think, just because they look cool. Like, people are more inclined to come back every day and vote, since this is a thing that's going on all week. It kind of amazes me that people are coming back for an entire week to vote on Disney characters, but I'll take it.
Hey, people get very serious about their Disney movies, Rubie. This is
very
not a
serious.
joke. This is risky business, and that's what's funny is I assumed people would get kind of heated with you guys on Twitter for forgetting or seating someone the wrong way. But Rubie, what would you say the key to winning this bracket is?
I think, a lot of it is luck, like the matchups you get. I mean, right now, like Frozen versus Pocahontas, like one of those just has no chance. I thought Frozen could take it all, but not if they're going to be up against Little Mermaid in the next round. So a lot of it's luck, but a lot of it's like, getting people to rally behind you too. So if we have a bunch of really fervent Mulan fans that keep coming back day after day, that could take you easily to the Final Four.
Easily. I'm on the line with Rubie Edmondson of USA Today Sports and For the Win. She's the designer of the Ultimate Disney Bracket. Now, when it comes to winning these brackets, do you think that we should stick with favorites, or do you think we should be like, it seems like there should be an upset here? Because you can't actually see what people voted for until you vote yourself.
That's right. See, I kind of love an upset. That's kind of the way I lean toward. And also, some of my favorites are really low-seeded. So for me, it's like kind of a no-brainer with some of these. Like The Incredibles is an 8 seed. That's crazy.
That is crazy.
And, I love Toy Story, but, I went with the 8 right there because I love an upset, but I also love The Incredibles. So I think you just got to go with what you love, and people are so opinionated about it.
Absolutely. Very passionate about Disney movies. And I assume everyone in your office, is there some sort of winning bracket? Like, what happens if you win? I mean, you created this thing and you win. What do you get?
I think it's just for pride at this point. But since we all kind of helped to seed it and create it, it's just like one discussion after the other, especially if you look at our staff on Twitter. Like, people have been going at it all day over this. Like, our last bracket winner was a 5 seed. And, I kind of called it, but no one really believed that it could happen.
Wow.
So, a little bit of bragging rights there.
Yeah.
But
So you have some luck. Are you feeling the luck on this Disney bracket?
I don't know, man. Like, it's tough.
Yep.
It's real tough. Like, so they're kind of seeded so that in the end, in the Final Four, we'll have Princess versus Classics, and then Pixar versus Modern Classics. So the final matchup is kind of going to be a classic movie against, likely a Pixar movie. Like, let's just be honest. So, it's tough. Like, they all have their own merits.
That's going to be so tough. When is the deadline for people to vote?
So the deadline for first round, that's round of 32, is midnight today. And then all week we'll be running the Sweet 16, Elite 8, 9 a.m. Eastern through 12 midnight. And then each morning you can check back on For the Win. It's ftw.usatoday.com. And you can see the day's winners from the day before and then cast your votes again.
And you can only vote once, right?
You can only vote once.
Okay.
If you have 2 computers, you might be able to get away with voting twice.
Rubie's telling us how to cheat. I like it.
But not stack the deck too much.
Rubie, thank you so much for joining us. I already filled out my bracket, so I'm really hoping to go all the way with this one because my real one completely busted. So Disney's my thing. I'm ready. But thank you, Rubie. Thank you for joining us.